For every city you burn, I'm gonna build one high.
Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashrothi. My camera is tilted too high up. Now it's better. And it is February 19th, YC127. This is the Eve Universe Show. I'm also using my headset mic because today is a fleet day. I am joined today by Dutch Gunner. Hold on. Audio is on. How's it going, Dutch?
Good evening, good evening. Everything is fine.
So, hey, Wesley Pipes, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, my friend. These streams get you through the workday. Happy to do it. Actually, today, so I always get nervous every time I'm like, we are doing this tomorrow, because invariably that gets ruined. And today, about 30 minutes before I'm supposed to be starting the fleet for the stream, like an hour before the stream, I get a phone call from my son's school saying that he is complaining that he's going to throw up. So, we played around with that, seeing how things were going. I finally went and picked him up, brought him home. But today, too important. Already said that we were going to be doing this. People wanted to see it, so we are going to do it live. Don't worry, he's going to be fine. He's in the other room. He's got everything he needs, water, everything. So good to go. But I was like, man, it's Wesley Pipes' birthday. I can't let him down. So, we are getting ready to go for the fleet. We actually still need at least one other person so we can get started with the 3-man fleets, if people are interested. Otherwise, haven't watched this before? Well, this is live. Nobody's watched this before, baby. Your 15 jumps out. Okay, there is a fleet up under Dutch Gunner. If you need to, you can join the CUE comms, or if you can't join that yet, the Consortium Operations channel in-game. 21 jumps out. You'll pass. I understand. But so it's funny. Yesterday, I've been focusing, because of the new year, on all of this like game development, like trying to make that newbie starter guide stuff. And I still want to do that. Don't get me wrong. Current episode is basically as soon as things calm down long enough for me to do them. But one of the things I noted was just how many people are like, no, the lore, which is true. Like right now, especially, there's a lot going on involving the lore. So I hear you, and I will definitely prioritize doing lore stuff. So for, obviously we want to do the mechanics and newbie-friendly mechanic stuff as well, but that can be a longer-term project, and we can make sure that have focus on some lore stuff. So one of the things I did was I went back and I watched, at least skimmed through, my lore speed run with chapters. Very handy that we put chapters in there. Thank you to whoever it was that gave me the chapters. Maybe it had been Danny. I don't remember 100% who. But very useful to go through it quickly. And one of the things I noted was that it ends right at Othanoon. That must be Jita. Jita's not 21 jumps from Dixie. 9. At any rate, where's the Discord link? Oh, no, I'm in Dixie, which is kind of like Jita, but not quite as Jita as Jita. Any rate, so there's the Discord. We are in the on-air chat to let people know that you are on air. Don't do anything silly. So yeah, the nice thing is that the last thing in that speedrun video is Othanoon, the Othanoon structure decloaking. So I think that it's probably a very good time to do a follow up, right? I think that was a pretty like the next arc is pretty well defined. I think that it's good to go back and do that. So I'll be working on making sure to piece that together too. That's right. Like the stream. What are you getting into? We're going to be doing the Drifter crisis sites. So, um, next door to Dodixie right now is a crisis system. It just started up last night, this morning. So there's still plenty of time left on it. If you go into interstellar sites, you can see that the system of Meve is at 22% influence. Told people yesterday that we were going to do it live today. If we can't get a fleet, I don't know what to say, but maybe people think I smell funny or something. Dutch, you usually get plenty of people. Usually takes a little bit off the
It's
ground.
marathon.
It's what?
Some people, it's a marathon, and some people treat it as a sprint. So
That's true.
burnout is real.
It is very easy to get burned out on these sites if you allow you to. It's although I will say that it's also pretty decent to kind of like get into the zone. We did it the other day where like almost 2 hours just evaporated, just site after site after site. One then two, two then three, three then four, or three then A then B, you know? So the you've never seen a fleet form or leave on time? That's a good point. No, this is not. Trust me, you're fine. And we need we need quite a few people. We need at least one person so we can start the first site. We need at least 3 people to start the rest of the sites. And if we end up with more people, we can actually be doing multiple things at a time. That's fine. We've done it before. And do not think that you're too bad. You even if you had even if you have no skills, even if you have all the wrong skills, if you come to me and you're like, I have done nothing but industry my entire life and I extracted spaceship command, that's fine. All you need to do is roll a new alt, use the buddy code. You can get a link down below, get 1,000,000 free SP, and I guarantee you you'll be able to inject your way into one of the ships that we need for these sites. These are very, very low pressure sites when it comes to the skill requirements. And I mean, we had an alpha with less than a week of experience in the game. Admittedly, he had his 1,000,000 free SP, and he did just fine. Yes, we may or may not need to make minor adjustments to the fits, but alphas are more than welcome to be in the fleet. The main fleet setup is either an augurer or an inquisitor, depending on which site. So a Mar cruiser, armor report, remote armor repair, remote capacitor transfer. That's basically all you need. Don't worry, man. 17 jumps is fine. We're all just hanging out. We got plenty of time, guys. We got plenty of time. This is an opportunity for people. There were basically a couple streams ago. We've been talking about this deathless stuff for a while, or the drifter crisis stuff for a while, and showing it off and whatnot. And I got a comment on my thing that was like, man, I wish I could get involved, but it's so hard to get involved. And I'm like, no, it isn't. Like, and I'm not saying that they're not wrong. Like, I don't think that he's bad for thinking that way. I think that like that's a misconception that a lot of people have. And part of what Dutch has been trying really hard to do, and I've been trying to do, is break through that and show like, oh yeah, anybody can do it. Just show up to one of these fleets if you want, or honestly, these things are not that hard to lead once you understand. Like each site has kind of a trick to it, or like a way to understand it that as long as you do it that way, it's actually really hard to mess it up. So I'm an introvert, played alone for years, alone. Well, I mean, this is a fleet activity, and B, good opportunity to break out of your shell a little bit. These aren't huge fleets where everything's super critical. It's just hang out with with a couple of people, and make some money. Brand's gonna come. Is there an in-game channel that you are using? Yes. You can get involved with consortium operation. I can spell it right. I'm spelling it right. Maybe that's spelled right. That's probably spelled right. Amar Cruiser is the only cruiser that you haven't unlocked. Like I said, worst case scenario, you can you could even theoretically just make a brand new alt and do it if you wanted to. Otherwise, if you can fly a Kikimora, that can work too. Honestly, any real like DPS T1 cruiser that's armor based might be fine. Destroyer or cruiser. So basically, while we're waiting though, I do want to cover a couple of things. Let's go ahead. I had some stuff to go, but apparently I don't, because my time that I was going to use to get ready for things, I instead go pick up my. So hold on. Couple news items I want to cover. Actually, I want to talk about something while we're getting ready to go. Let me just Dutch, go ahead and feel free to cut in if we're actually ready to do something.
Well, with you in, we've got at least 3 people.
Are we ready to go?
Yeah, we can get started with the salvage sites, and then
Excellent.
as people are starting to come in, we can move up to bigger sites.
2 jumps out.
Oh, there you okay, great. Sweet. All right. Well, never mind then. I was going to talk a little bit about the exploit notification from yesterday, but they actually fixed it via the patch notes today. But also today we did get a really interesting dev blog about. It was definitely more interesting than I thought it was going to be. About what's their back end thing called now? Quasar. You guys read that? No, clearly not. All right.
Hi there.
It looks like he's looking for an invite.
Yeah, I can't find the fleet in Fleet Finder. Okay, thank you.
Oh, that's you. Is Ranuru on comms, or is that the other person that's ready to go?
Yeah, I'm on comms.
Okay, great. Dutch, you ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
So-
gonna be a bit heavy on Inquisitors, but that's fine. Just means we can run it faster.
Oh, we have 4?
Yep.
That's fine. So, okay, what we're going to do is the first site we're going to do is the salvage site. Now, we were doing it with a destroyer and 2 inquisitors. However, because so each site has different modifiers that can change it, and in the case of like sites with rats in them, a lot of times that's the spawns that can happen. So one of the things that can happen is the spawn be particularly newt heavy, which made it so the destroyer was a little bit or could be left dry. So they've swapped to a setup where all 3 inquisitors have salvaging capabilities. You give up on the number of salvagers, but what you get out of that is the redundancy that it doesn't matter which inquisitor becomes the primary target. The other ones can continue to operate just fine, as opposed to the destroyer, which had a single point of failure. So with that said, go ahead and undock, undock, undock.
Don't have a ship yet.
Oh, I thought we
Yep,
were ready.
sit tight, sit tight. No, there's we'll be running different sites. We're starting out with the salvage one.
Okay.
So we'll do the salvage, and then we'll come back, and then we'll include more people with augurers to do different sites.
Okay. Fine.
Warp drive active.
If you're an inquisitor, make sure you got everybody on watch list. Makes it a little bit easier to rep.
Well, so this is one of the things, like, consortium operations. Go ahead and jump. Consortium operations has been leading fleets, i.e., and Dutch Gunner specifically, working with consortium operations, have been leading a lot of fleets. So keeping involved with those sorts of helps out, knowing when or how to get involved with the. Are you warping us, or am I?
Yep, I'm warping now.
Okay. So normally you would do this with 3 dudes, but because we're like a little bit overstaffed right now, which is good, we're gonna do it with 4, which does reduce the payout a little bit. Are you gonna be the main dude, Dutch?
Well, that's the fun part. Everybody can start spreading out and go for the different wrecks. This is a revamped site based on the issues we had in the past with one ship doing the salvaging and constantly getting neutered out with the neutralizing ships not swapping.
Got it.
Take 8, take 8.
Warp drive active.
So the story of this site is that this was a fight between the owning empire and the drifters. This is the remains of that site, so we got to salvage it in order to rescue the various pilots in the wreckage. You just spread out.
Yep. Of course, Dutch gets full aggro.
So these enervatings are going to be the big nuding dudes. They're going to be kind of a threat in most of the sites. The soothing are the repairers. Now, what's interesting is that in the other sites where you have to kill the rats that you have to kill do not get assisted by the soothing. The rats that you don't have to kill do get assisted by the soothing. So, like in this site, if we started to try to kill these the enervatings or whatever, the soothing would try to repair them. Ash's aggro? But in this site, obviously, you don't really even need to kill the rats at all. You can also, if you're interested in getting involved with this stuff, I mean, you can always join my Discord. We do it with the Homefront tag. But seriously, just harass me. Because I'm taking damage, I want to keep instead of approach, I may just orbits. One of the nice things is that the location of the wrecks are the same place each time. Aggro off Ash. So you can kind of learn your favorite pattern to work through wrecks. And so the best way to get involved, these public fleets, the fleets that you might want to get involved in, like Dutch's, it's very common, and this is true about the normal home front fleets that this is actually based off of. It's very common that the FC will just have a full set of all of the ships necessary to do it.
That's at least how I approach it.
A lot of other like most of the FCs that do home fronts that I've seen approach it that way.
Ah, okay, home fronts. Yeah, okay.
And home fronts are around all the time. These are just a little bit harder than home fronts because they use sleeper rats instead of like a specific races rat. There we go. There's our payout. Again, our payout is a little bit low. Only 7,500 or 7.5 million because we're up 1.
Warp drive.
We have a 5th yet, or
Oh, we can run another just so people really take in the site. Because the sites are pretty.
I do think that our team did.
Site is clear. Take 8.
Warp drive active.
All right. Well, if you started a new pilot that's Galente, you shouldn't have that many jumps to go. And remember, you can always just make like a dozen or so new accounts, set them all to train with the Magic 14. Then you have 1,000,000 free SP. Don't redeem the 1,000,000 free SP. Keep it in your redeemed window, so that way you can just continue training your Magic 14. You can end up with 5 million 5 million allocated SP to the Magic 14, and 1 million unallocated SP to turn your blank clone into whatever you want. And then if you ever need to buy Plex, or you can get 4 extra Master Arm Cerebral Accelerators by getting it through that account. Or if that account ever goes Omega, you end up getting 2 weeks of Omega for your main account if you use your main account for a buddy code.
So after running this site for the, you want to swap up to lands or deathless?
Let's see. So it looks like there is already somebody doing the Lancer sites to the point where they're pretty overwhelmed at the moment.
Oh, that's fine. We still got a way to keep it as secure as possible.
That's fair.
Aggro switched.
Yeah, they're all going for Dutch.
It's actually a good point, guys. It's a good idea for you to go to your fleet. Just add all of your members to your watch list. Just add one person to your watch list like that, and then just click on your chat window, Control A, just drag them all in there. And make sure you have the number of people in your fleet minus 1 in your watch list. Now, each salvage does give us a military stasis pod, which is also worth 150,000 ISK on top of the ISK that's gotten just for leading the site.
And if you're into the RP aspect, you can do some really nasty things. Like, for instance, these are probably going to be Galante crew. Imagine selling them to Kaldari, or Minmatar to Abar, or Amar to Minmatar.
Yeah. There is a lot of kind of fun, I don't know if I'd call it cosmetic items, but, commodities that have some fun lore implications. You can sell for ISK if you want, but you can also kind of do whatever you want with it in your head. It also helps explain what is going on. Because if you notice, this is a very EVE Online loves environmental storytelling. They don't actually like telling us too much of like exactly like this is what you're up to and blah blah blah. Like even these are very kind of specific in its objectives. But even then, you can like, for instance, with the Deathless Tower, you can either help the Deathless or you can hurt the Deathless. CCP doesn't like telling us what our motivations are. That's our job. But they can tell us what's they can tell us what's happening and what Concord or whoever would like us to do. And we get to choose what we want to do with that. But there's a lot of environmental storytelling in understanding what's going on with everything from these military stasis pods to the breaking point, from the Lancer sites to the... Hey.
Jump, 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 jump.
For some reason I thought we warped to another site. Like, why is there a miasmos on the gate?
Well, we're switching to Lancer, so that
You're right.
means reshipping. Take warp, take warp. Dock on contact.
So the Lancer site is by far the most popular one because it is relatively easy to multi-box, first of all, but more importantly, like the 5-man sites pay more than the 3-man site. And of the 5-man sites, one of them requires you to wait the entire 10 minutes because it's you have to hold the structure alive for 10 minutes, so it takes an entire 10 minutes for it to complete. Whereas the Lancer site completes as soon as you're done capping it up 3 times. So you can actually finish it significantly faster than 10 minutes. So people that are trying to maximize how much money they make are preferring to do the Lancer site. So there's a lot more contested value in there. Now, going Kiki, right?
That was my question. Are you going to go for the Kiki?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Let me just reshuffle things around for a bit.
So,
There.
so the objective here is there's a bunch of rats, including some nuding rats or whatever, and they're all attacking this dreadnought. And the dreadnought is a Lancer dreadnought is attempting to destroy a structure of theirs. So our job is to go in and do capacitor transfer on that dread, tap it all the way up so it can do its lance. It then we have to wait a minute and a half for its siege cycle to finish, and then we can cap it up again. It can lance a second time, and then when it lances a third time, it blows up the structure, and everybody wins, right? The problem that we ran into, the kicker here, is that capacitor transfer is not considered something for the progression of a site. Like, it isn't tracked to see who's contributing to completing the site. So the site is designed, I was actually wrong. In normal Homefront sites, if the first people that are in, they get the site. If another group comes in, that they get a suspect flag. That's not true in the Drifter Crisis sites. Anybody can come in, however many people want to come in, however many fleets that want to come in. And combine that with the fact that cap transfer doesn't count towards contribution. What that means is guys can come in with like 1 DPS ship, shoot a couple things, and steal the entire site from you if you end up doing no damage yourself. So the new trick is, even though you technically don't have to kill the nuding rats with how much cap transfer you can do, it's still better to bring a combat ship just to get some, shooting work done. So that way, if somebody else tries to come in and steal your site, you have enough progress that your team already gets the success. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to be in a Kiki, and everybody else is going to be in Augurs.
Everybody in Lance squad, please undock. Everybody in Lance squad, please undock. Everybody else, don't worry. We'll split up in a bit, and then we'll have different groups doing different sites. And while the fleet's running, we can alternate to make sure that not everybody runs one site exclusively over the others. Okay, and fleet take warp, fleet take warp, fleet take warp.
We have an Inquisitor.
Do we chain up or something, or
Yep. Cap chain is going to be alphabetically. So, Ashella, you'll put one cap transfer on Dutch. Dutch
Yeah.
will put a cap transfer on Raniero. Raniero will put one cap transfer on Thrans, and Thrans will put one cap transfer on Ashella. The remainder three you can put on the Dreadnought. Everybody jump, everybody jump.
Cleared my totals and peak.
Warp drive
Fleet take warp,
L.
fleet take warp.
So of course these crises are the way to finish them fast is by running all 4 sites at this. I do love this Kiki. This Kiki skin is one. I do have pretty baller Kiki.
Okay, this side is taken, taking us to another. Take warp, take warp.
warp drive active.
I have a few Kiki. I do like. This is the peak Kiki skin that I made. So it's gonna be probably too dark to get.
Taken 2. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I cleared them, and this first one that pops up, we can warp to it.
So you guys can see all of these sites appear on the scanner window, and they'll appear here first. I don't think that they show up on the beacons until somebody actually goes into the site. Even if they warp to the site, that seems to not get them to, that doesn't necessarily count. But, you know, the nice thing about having your probe window open like this is that when something new shows up, it'll actually, it'll appear highlighted, so you'll be able to see when there's new stuff.
And for the Lancer side, there's up to 4, and they have a relatively quick respawn time. It's just, yeah, if you got 2 groups running and they're all going for max speed completion, they will have to run. They will have to wait because they're running the sites faster than they can respawn.
Speaking of which, we're going to get stepped on because the group just both groups have finished things. Started.
That's the downside
Hey,
of being so close to major trade hubs.
I think I saw. Was it your comment? I saw your comment somewhere, Sargon. Was it on my video? I really I think saw it. Your name stood out to me because like I saw something recently. I do find it interesting that CCP has now come out and said that they're unhappy with the state of moon mining, or the state of mining, I should say. And I think that it's actually really interesting. This is something I wanted to talk about more in like a segment, but this is a good way to fill some time while we wait for a respawn. But like CCP added all these different levers into the world. Yeah, that was it. CCP added all these levers into that allows them to tweak and control various different things within the balance of the game. That's a big piece of what they did during scarcity. Is just add a bunch of things that are like independent factors that they can adjust accordingly. And one of the things that we've seen is those levers being put in good use, balancing things like capitals versus subcapitals, this territory, this game style versus that game style, et cetera, et cetera. But I think that one of the misconceptions that people have is the idea that the goal that CCP should have in these changes is this mythical balance, right? That there's this idea that, because people talk about like, oh, this change is just going to make things worse or blah, blah, blah. It's like the idea that balance is the goal, I think, is a misnomer, because balance is stagnation. The goal is change. It actually doesn't matter if something is, oh boy.
Take 8, take 8, take 8, take 8, take 8, take 8.
So they are all augurer. We have a Kiki, which means all things being equal, we should be successful in the site. Also, how far out did you take us?
Drive active.
Working as intended is often the meme, but sometimes it's actually true. Yeah, like I'm not saying they want things to be that far out of whack, but like you also don't want it to be perfectly balanced either. The whole point is to create different opportunities at different times. Okay. I'm going to hold for a while until everybody else comes in. But okay, so my goal now as Ash is aggro, obviously. My goal at the moment is to
Orbit the
not die.
dread, orbit dread, put the wrapper on Ash.
The capacitor is empty.
Ash,
Hold
go
on.
for the structure, start shooting the structure. We got you,
Uh,
boo.
Negative. What I do is I actually start going after the focus enervatings. Those are the equivalent of the obliviatings in the other side. So, as long as I'm attacking focused guys, the soothings will not. Well, there's no soothings in it, but the soothings won't actually come after, like help them. These are the rats that we kill because the focused enervatings,
Nero,
all they do.
cap transfer on one transfer on Thrans. You need to
I've
put
got
one
no
cap
cap.
transfer on Thrans. Ashella, put a cap transfer on Vernero. Yeah, Ashella, your cap transfer should be on. Oh wait, no, Dutch made a mistake. My bad. Dutch screwed up. Apologies.
Back to Dutch or
Nope, you're correct. Dutch put the cap wrong. Keep the Ashella, you keep your cap on Dutch.
okay.
So, the focused enervatings, you'll notice that none of them are blinking. Everything else, there are actually two fleets in this site. One is the focused, and the other is everything else. So the everything else, they can support each other, they can attack us, they can do their E-war and such. Oh, there goes the Dread firing its gun. The focused only worry about neuting the Dread. We're going to keep going. Don't worry, DK.
The Thorax is here. I did bring DPS now.
Okay. Well,
So I suggest Occult and start hitting the Destructive Scrutinizer. Because that's what the Thorax is burning for. And that's why I told you initially, go for the structure. Because that structure will keep soaking up damage and you could ramp up on it. And now you're going to be behind on the Thorax.
well, I've been doing damage. Yeah. Hey. It also means that they have 6. Right. We've got ISK. Yeah.
10
I know.
seconds until we can cap the Dreadnought up again.
I got a wrecking shot for 3K.
And back on Dread with cap.
DPS do we thorax have? Did I just cap out? Capped out. Yep.
Should have spoken up, buddy.
No,
I
capped
could've-
out. Like, sorry, my bad. Not cap as in capacity.
Oh,
capped out as
damage
in
cap.
DPS
Check.
cap.
Okay. You max out the damage. Gotcha.
Yeah. I happened to open up my thing right as it was picking the last. Like I saw it go from 666 damage to 687 damage and then never change again. I was like, oh, what a coincidence. I don't know, man. I wonder if maybe a thorax can now DPS a key.
Like, yes, the focus probably count, but being ramped up for a while before the thorax could make difference. But if we lose, we can try again on another site.
Yeah.
And then stick to the structure.
I mean, I've pretty successfully learned a lot about these sites by doing it wrong.
Kept the dread up again.
Although if the thorax is polarized or something silly, they might just be able to beat me at full ramp.
Reps to Thran's.
Find out though. End of sight. Nope.
Told you should have gone for the structure.
Okay. We'll see if that even.
Take warp. The ramp up sticks longer. So the
No, I
time
know.
that you ramp up on other things.
My concern is that it isn't going to matter. But we'll see. There's something tells me that you can squeak 700 DPS out of a thorax. This is resolved. Oh shit! Somebody's doing deathless now.
Warp drive active.
That's for other time threads.
We going in?
No.
Warp drive
Let's just go for the deathless.
Okay. Well, there's another Lancer site that just spawned too, right?
You are
Can you
correct.
away?
We'll go for that one.
Warp drive active.
Take 8.
Warp drive active.
Oh wow. Yeah. You can really see the atosis effect on the Galente structure.
Okay, cap chain up. Orbit the dread. Ash. Go for the structure with a cult. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if these are two groups with one thorax switching between whatever site is getting contested.
Hmm. Yeah. Makes sense too, because look at how many people have the same name in local. It's one dude multi-boxing both sites.
Oh, that's just greedy.
Maybe, or at least in part both sides. Maybe two person multi. Gives multi-boxers a bad name. Multi-boxers give multi-boxers a bad name. So the problem is that it doesn't matter how many kikis we stack into this site because, well, actually, oh, that's right. It might matter. It might be the team that contributes. Normally,
it's on a fleet. It's on a fleet.
yeah, normally with these kinds of things, like if it's just like, for instance, the drifter at the end of the Dreamer site, right? If you're just trying to get loot rights on that thing,
Cap up the dread, rep Rhaenyra. Cap up the dread, reps on Rhaenyra.
the thing that matters is the single largest damage contributor. So, you know, it doesn't matter if a whole fleet of dudes are all doing a bunch of damage. If there's another guy that does more damage than any one of them, then they will win the DPS race. But this site is fleet-wide, so I think it would count the combined contribution. But who knows? It can't be. So it wouldn't be an independent thorax, because if it was an independent thorax, then they would just be getting Rhaenyra, who has no cap. He would be getting the full site for himself, but it would count him as soloing it. So he'd have like a minimal payout. It would be much better. He'll make more money literally by being in the group with the Augurers, because they'll just make 13 million. Whereas if he's by himself, he would make closer to like 5 million. You get suspect timers in sight? No, you can't get. They don't get suspect flags in the sites. It is possible to use drones with the Augurers to boost the fleet DPS a bit. However, these rats are really good at going after drones, so there would be at least some attrition to that. Honestly, the big thing is that this is why I don't focus on the Lancer sites as much, because
Same.
yeah. And this is true about normal home fronts too. Like Lancer sites are by far the most multi-boxed or the most farmed. So I tend to, if I'm going to be taking it seriously, do a different one.
Cap up the dread.
My DPS is
But hey,
actually.
we're showing the sites, so
Yep. Oh yeah. And showing how it gets disrupted is definitely part of it. And
ding
we
ding
win!
ding.
All
Salty
right.
Salty.
He stole it.
Oh, what a
Nice.
poor sport. Got out contested and still yanks the loot. Okay, whatever.
Well, now we know that thorax build gets beaten by the Kiki if allowed to fully ramp. I was concerned because a blaster thorax doing at least 700 wouldn't surprise me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then it doesn't matter.
Don't underestimate the you're faster than the thorax, so you would be on target faster, and with the ramp up, and that he came in later,
Yeah.
that made the difference.
Yeah. Uh, wild how Augurer capped to dread does not count for percentage contributed. Apparently, this is just like, so this is actually a thing. Like, you got to think that the technology that allows these sites to work, that power these sites to work, are like only started being built in 2018. And so the tools, this is a lot like the quasar stuff, like the videos that they're talking about, like the the tools to be able to read things live and hook into them for the purposes of specific events is still,
Everybody
are
jump, 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 jump.
somewhat archaic systems that are being retrofitted to work in the modern era. And it just so happens that like keeping track of capacitor transfer as a metric of contribution to a fleet hasn't made the cut. Goru's shuttle. Huh. Are we
Blueprint
warping
from
ourselves?
No, fleet warp coming in now.
Okay.
Warp drive active.
I've heard of Goru's shuttle, but I don't know anything about it. Apparently, he received it as a birthday present.
So once we're in station, if you receive the ship from Dutch, trade it back to Dutch. If you want to run the Deathless site with Ashtarothi, move yourself to the Deathless squad. We have 8 people, so that's 5 people for the Deathless squad and 3 people to do the salvaging. Dutch will be leading the salvaging.
I need one more Kiki, and the rest are going to be Augurers. Goru's shuttle is a Cosmos reward. Can you imagine doing some of the oldest, most broken content in the entire game for a shuttle?
Ash, did I get the ship from you?
All ships should be coming to Dutch.
Okay.
I would like to have the Augurer back.
Yep, it's in trade.
Yeah, there's multiple people trading with Dutch at the moment.
6 jumps away. Excellent. At the very least, make sure that DK is not coming all this way for nothing.
Oh shit, I still got the auger. Hmm.
Camera.
No.
Oh.
Ashella, that Augurer
Yeah.
is a different fit for the Deathless site.
Yeah, you're trading one augurer for another augurer. You're going from reps or cap to reps.
Okay, so I have to refit it.
No.
No,
You
no,
don't.
no. You
Dutch has Augurers for the land site and Augurers for the Deathless sites. They're already pre-fitted. They're fit differently. So when we swapped, you traded in the Augurer you had for the land site, and you would get a different Augurer that was already fitted for the Deathless site.
Okay, okay, now I have armor reps and one.
Okay, so
Capacity.
Ash and Thran's are in the Kikimora. Ashella and Renaru have an Augurer. Just need one more person for the Augurer.
okay?
Yep, okay. Then you go up to Lance, and that would mean that Moarte and Osiris, you'll be following me, and I'll trade you both an Inquisitor. Everybody Oh, hang on, Thranz. Let me give you the Kiki then, because you do need the Kiki for the Deathless. There we go. Then Ash, you can head out with your squad, and Marta and Osiris, you can join Dutch in a different channel, and then Ash, it's your site to run
Okay.
for the Deathless. You're
Deathless
in.
folk. Undock, undock, undock. More. Wait, who's coming with me? Got you there. Everybody leave? I only have 4 people.
Warp drive active.
Let us. Oh, we lost a person. You're 6 jumps away with the alpha. Well, if worse comes to worse, you can be our 5th. The Federation Navy Assembly Plant.
Ash, so I'm looking at the squad. You do have 5 people. It's you, Ashella, Brododian, Reneru, and Thranz.
Okay, Ashella's not.
Okay. Ashella had to disconnect. Good. It's sorted. Ashella just back on comms.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Well, we also have DK Olaf that we can get involved. So.
Well, we have one person drop fleet. But you can run the lands now. You can run the Deathless now. You have all the people. They already have ship, so
Okay.
you can run those.
Okay, if Ashella undocks.
Okay, here I come.
Yay, that's everybody. Take warp.
Warp drive active.
So in these sites, the thing that DK Olaf says that that's just gone. We'll get you situated. Go ahead and jump Meaves, jump Meaves, jump Meaves. So the goal here is that we need to save the tower. Okay. There's going to be a bunch of rats in the site, and just like in the previous site where there's focused and everything else, in this case there's going to be obliviating and everything else. Obliviating are going to be attacking the tower. So the Kikis are going to focus on killing the obliviatings, while everybody else is going to focus on their cap chain and making sure to keep the structure alive. Okay. The Kikis have primary rep responsibility for the fleet. The augurs should keep all reps on the tower unless something gets to like below half armor, in which case you guys can help out. But generally speaking, you guys shouldn't have to worry about it. I'll be marking tags and be saying, the order in which we're going to kill things. Any questions, comments, concerns? We're going to warp to the place, and then once we land, I want everybody to set up your cap chain, alphabetical down. So that would be Ashila to Brododian to Ranaru, and Ranaru to Ashila. Questions, comments, concerns?
Nope, all good.
Nope, sounds good.
We're going to orbit the tower at like 1,000. If you can't find it because you don't have it on overview yet or something, you can always just orbit Ash if need be. Control space as soon as you land. And then cap chain up. Once I see the cap chains up good, then we'll go in. Control space to break your warp invuln. Brododan going to Ranaru. Brododan. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. All right, activate gate, activate gate, activate gate. Let's go in.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, okay, DK, just go ahead and join the Dutch's channel for now. So I actually like to sort by type. There are no obliviating frigates. Free fire, free fire, free fire. There is no cap pressure. What a weird fucking wave. All right, normally we tag destroyers and work our way through them for the obliviatings, and then free fire frigates just because it's easier for Kiki to kill and ramp up on the frigates. You know, we just want to work through them quickly. We also would need to be worried about new pressure, but there is none, so you don't need to cap Ash at all. Now, if I go to this view, you can see on the left-hand side, save all reps to the outpost, 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 all reps to the outpost. There is a lot of obliviating frigates, so we're trying to work our way through it, but the outpost is already pretty hurt. $50 seconds to next wave. I just drifted off. Yay, reps are coming to the outpost. Once we get the outpost scooped up, the Kiki can switch their reps to help out with the Augurer that's damaged. We have 14 seconds to next wave. There's a wave every 2.5 minutes. The waves come from the wormhole above the site. There's the wave. We do have destroyers this time. 1, 2, 3A. 1, then 2. 1, then 2. One, then 2. reps on my buddy there. As soon as one is done, I'm probably going to pick off that last remaining scrap of armor on that hit. 2, then 3. 3. Like we're pretty stable right now. Three, then free fire. 3 fire. You're using Mystic, right? The second computer? Okay, good. Free fire, free fire, free fire. 50 seconds to next wave. There is an A. My bad. Off A. Now free fire. Oops, that's not it. There it is. See, okay, so 5 minutes, 5 seconds left. 3, 1. There's the next wave. 1, 2, 3. 1, then 2. You can see, like, if you, as long as you focus. Oh gosh, wow, this camera cropping is so much worse. Oh boy. If you, as long as you keep the obliviatings reasonably under control, this is a pretty low stress environment. 2, then 3. The issue is, check this out. So we're gonna pick the like not really a great example at the moment, but you see how this is a soothing. 3, then free fire. You can see that the soothing isn't really doing anything at the moment. But as soon as the 3 dies, I'm gonna shoot at this cruiser for a couple cycles, and we'll see what the soothing does. So I'm going to start shooting right now. And immediately we start to see, there it is. Yep, it's repping that ship now. So, but if I switch to the obliviating, it's not going to correct itself. It's going to just keep on repping that one, and then when it's done repping that one, it's going to just not do anything. So the issue I was running into is I was sorting by type, or I was sorting by icon, so that way the destroyers were all together, and I was targeting stirring flax organized by type. Stirring flax goes above obliviating. So if you accidentally fire, like target the stirring falx as your primary, you end up fighting against all of those reps. Takes too long to kill it, fall behind in between waves, and you can lose the structure. But as long as you stick with only obliviatings, you can see that the soothing does not give a crap what I am doing. The next wave. One, then 2. free fire. There is a lot of obliviating frigates, so everybody make sure you're repping the tower. It is taking a lot of damage right now. 2 then free fire. A minute and a half is left. Fire. This is a big reason why safety's green is very important, because as you can see, I'm repping one dude and I'm damaging others. Trying to balance that out and not accidentally kill your own dudes is, you know, maintaining your safety is a good way to do that.
Yep.
I once lost a very nice Drek by accidentally shooting at somebody else's wreck.
Ouch. Can happen.
I was reading the thing about the drifter sites so far, and there is clear language that this is going to escalate. They say that the storm is brewing. This is the storm brewing. So hopefully we go somewhere exciting. All right, that's it for this site. Take warp.
Warp drive active.
And as you saw, we got, well, I guess you guys didn't, but we got 20 million per person for the site, 20 million in 10 minutes. So that's, in theory, with no downtime, 120 million ISK per hour.
Not bad.
Which, I mean, if you think about it, the Lancer site's even better if you're not being stepped on. Which, wow, all of the Deathless sites are being run too? Like, we're going to... This one's a fresh one, but, like, all of the other Deathless sites are finished already? That's crazy. Activate gate. I don't want to wait too far outside for somebody else to come and step on us. Although, it looks like the main multi-boxer is gone for the day, or for now. Well, the Lancer site is fairly easy to multi-box. The rest of the sites are not as easy to multi-box. Ironically, I'm kind of low on Mystic. Might need to head back to base. A couple of these sites. 1 then 2. So now we have 2 innervatings, including an innervating cruiser. So there's going to be minor cap issues, 2 than 3, but probably not. Really, if there's not a battleship, then it's not that big of a deal. But you can see already, like, there's a lot less obliviatings, and as a result, the pressure on the tower itself is much lower than it was last time. What's the cargo container for? Oh. Fine. 3 then A? 3 then A? A then free fire. A then free fire. If they grow, well, so the issue is that, like, it's legitimately kind of hard to make content that is both good for players, good for newer players, and also resistant to multi-boxing. You could definitely do it. I mean, like, obviously the Lancer site is pretty easy to multi-box. But at the same time, I wonder whether or not CCP, rather than just making it so that there's no space for multi-boxing, I wonder how much of it they're like, okay, well, we gotta feed something. Ash is going to kneecap. We got to feed something, red meat to that group, right? So the Lancer site is for the multi-boxers to do, because they know that there are there's a certain amount of like, is it worth fighting it, or is it worth just giving them their thing and giving everybody else their thing? Ban the shit out of. So I have long since said that the thing that CCP the thing that CCP needs to do to truly balance the game, or to fix a lot of the problems in the game, is make it so that even an Omega can only have 2 to 3 accounts active at any given time, or logged in at any given time. I'd be willing to listen to 3. There's so many problems that just well, instead of making friends and doing it with a group, I trust myself, and therefore, even though I might be even slightly less efficient, it's just better for me to do it by myself instead of forcing me to work with other people, right? But I don't think that that's a reality, right? Obviously, if we it's one of those cursed design problems. It's more like, how do we make a world that's the best we can given that circumstance? Because the method, that's a whole war. Only game that actually cheer and prop for cheat. Definitely not the only game that cheers for cheat, depending on what you consider cheating. But
The capacitor is empty.
well, so there are methods that can be done, but again, at a certain point, you're just putting in artificial things to try to fight multi-boxers, and you run the risk of hurting other people too, right? I don't know. I think as long as they all have to go Omega and there's something to be gotten out of it, maybe that's a thing. I think that, really, a big part of it is skill extractors have made it so that you can have multiple accounts without paying the full price of those multiple accounts once they've gotten skills. You can subsidize your Omega by selling your brain off every month. And that has all these knock-on effects. It honestly wouldn't matter if people multi-boxed if there was enough of a cost of doing that. 1 than 2. But I think that 3 would be the best option. Hell, then you could even do Abyss by yourself if you really, really wanted to. But honestly, what makes me really sad is people that do things like Abyss, 3-man Abyss all by themselves. They do content that's explicitly designed for multiplayer. They do it by themselves, and then they complain that it's boring. You realize that the exciting part is doing things with other people, right? That's part of the fun.
Yeah, it's more fun when you have more people in fleet. That's true.
It's about doing something together. Hey, reps, please. Yep.
The capacitor is empty.
Can't hurt other people if you ban 25 accounts by one person. Yeah, it is true, how much content actually gets, the problem is that especially in this sort of environment, it really kind of accentuates it, right? Because we're competing, in a way, over these sites. So, that one multi-boxer is taking all of the sites in the system and is actively muscling out other people in order to do them. That does become a problem. Yeah. But at the same time, though, I've seen a lot of people being very disparaging, calling people bots or multi-boxers who may not be. Now, obviously, when they name their characters like all the same name or something like that, that's fine. But I've been in fleets where we're coordinated enough and sophisticated enough and not talking to you enough
The
that
capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty.
that from the outside we might look like bots or we might look like multi-boxers.
The capacitor is empty.
Theoretically speaking, a well-coordinated fleet should look a lot like a multi-boxed fleet. No, it's not. So it's the system adjacent to Dodixie, Meves, that is the that is under crisis.
Is empty.
Crises do not spread out from their source yet.
The capacitor is
That's the next thing.
The capacitor is empty.
Wave. Wait, that was a new wave a while ago. I've just been capped out the whole time. Never mind.
The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty.
We have a minute and 28 seconds. Pull down the DPS a little bit more. Go. I do agree that it does make, like, it makes it so hard for CCP to make content when every time they make content, people evaluate it solely from the lens of a multi-boxer, right? Like, there is a very much of a problem of, like, we optimize the fun out of our own game, and sadly, because it's since it's a sandbox, CCP kind of lets us. But I think that a big piece of that is that in spite of all of that, like, if you look, we have 2 fleets out right now. We have 2 different sites being done by real people doing the fleet, in spite of all of that. So even though it is true that multi-boxers are here and, like, it does hurt the game, part of what's awesome about EVE is what does manage to get done in spite of the forces arrayed against it, right? It's about perseverance in the face of obstacles, even if that obstacles is your other players playing the game in a way that's detrimental to you. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying that CCP should I'm not saying that the allowance of a multi-boxer is a balancing thing or something like that. But I'm just saying, like, in essence, EVE Online is kind of a game about getting things done in spite of what's the problems. Take warp.
Warp drive active.
One thing that they could theoretically do is make it so that, so, like, one of the things I don't like about home fronts, I do like the fact that, like, so, actually, hold on. Go ahead and go in. So
Warp drive
the
active.
fact that you need to have at least 5 people to get the full payout, I think, is a really cool thing. This has been something going on since, like, Triglavian Invasions, where it's like, yeah, you can do it solo, but you don't get full, like, the first 3 people get full payout before it starts to get split. So it's not a big ask or a demand, like, it's not a big problem for there to be other people to come in. However, this whole, like, need for it to be one then 2, this whole need for it to be 5 makes it actually kind of hard to do a pickup group. It's like, if I end up with more than 5 or less than 5, I've still got a problem. That's the one part I don't really like, but overall, I think home fronts are a really good source of content. And people talking about how this is just reskinned home fronts, it's like, A, they are fundamentally different in a way that, like, you need to adjust things to make it work, but also, B, it's about, like, the whole point of the home fronts was to prove the concepts, and now they're trying them in different environments with different consequences, right? Like, it's all a growing thing, and like if they had to make 5 new sites just for this one short-lived event, that would kind of suck, right? So them like they need to be, in order for there to be this many activities, they can't design for all like they've already put a lot of design in these home fronts. So it allows them to do a lot of different things all at the same time because each of those different things have already been individually proven out rather than trying to do like 5 different new things all at once, which they did do when Homefronts first came out, but it was still low enough impact that it was okay that it took a little while for them to make sure that all of the sites were fairly well balanced against each other. Which
Did you mute yourself?
nope,
don't
I
hear
just
you.
stopped talking. I stopped talking.
Ah.
I know people aren't used to me not talking. I get it.
Capacitor is empty. The capacitor is
All right, we
Yeah, I
got
saw it.
wave 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
What were you saying?
Oh, nothing.
My cap is
The
empty, by the way.
capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty.
So is it any of your guys' first time doing this?
Second time.
Second time. It's DN's first time. That's good. I mean, like, and you can see, like, this isn't so hard to get into, you know?
Nope, it's easy, but you just have to get the 5 people.
Yep.
That's the only thing.
The individual task is not that spooky, but it's about doing the thing together, right? It's a relatively stable thing, but you guys get together and you perform it together, you know?
Yep.
Can Thrans get a cycle of cap?
Fire. Not quite the big fleets that we did for invasions, but that's the thing I really liked about invasions, where it's like, if I had 5 people, good to go. If I had 15 people, still pretty much good to go. Just ran the sites a little bit faster, you know? The good, nice thing here, though, is that because there's the different sites, there's the 3-man and the 5-man, just like in this case, if you have, you know, 8 people, then you have both a salvage site and a combat site, or, you know, deathless site. Go. This crisis is going to go so fast. I think it was at, like, what, 10% earlier? Now it's at 27? I think it's just, it started today, right? 1, 2, 3A? Ash is under fire. Eventually. Two then 3. What is an algos?
The capacitor is empty.
Trying to steal the
The
money.
capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty.
He's gone.
Yeah. Algos is a choice, that's for sure. Not the choice I would make. 3 then A. So if you let this tower die, then you get a certain number of telemetry for the amount of time that it is. So like for the first half of the site, you get 1 telemetry every 2.5 minutes, and then after that, by the time you get to 2 minutes left, or 2.5 minutes left, it has 6 telemetry in it total. And a telemetry is worth 20 million ISK. So, sorry, 10 million ISK. So the site, even if you fail it at the very end, it'll be worth approximately 60 million ISK. Where if you finish it with a group of 5, it's worth 100 million. I mean, 100 million ISK each site, not each person. 20 million ISK per person.
Yeah, is it 60 million per site or per people?
It's per site. So like, if the site does not complete, in other words, there's no payout, but you get almost to the end, you'll end up with 6 hyperspace telemetry records that is worth a total of 60 million ISK.
Okay.
Which is worth less than the site is worth total if you complete it with 5 people. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you better do it right.
Right. 1, 2, 3, A, B. There is a consolation prize, though, those who do let it slip towards the end. And there are people, apparently... See, I'm actually really surprised that we don't have more, like, fanatics that are coming in. Hey, Ash needs reps. Thank you. That are coming in and, like, trying to destroy the tower while we're fighting.
Now they want to make us lose. So, yeah. What happens if the system lose?
It nothing. Like it just like despawns after a period of time.
Okay. It's not like Triglavian sites. Okay.
Nope. Outside of lore, where like the New Eden News talks shit about ones that aren't completed, there's no like in-game application yet. Like no, yeah, it's not yet at least. I posted a short about it. Like I was there for the first Drifter Crisis to not finish, and it's just like just turns off when it expires.
Yeah, I thought it would become
A then B.
like Triglavian system, but it's not
Yeah.
gonna go to Drifter system.
And that's what I was thinking. Okay. It's been 3 weeks since this started, and we've got 9 images out of 12. So next week is when we get the final 3 pieces of the attack. The images appear to show the warden and the virtuality that is there, and the like screaming heads of like the people in that virtuality. It looks very hell evocative. But there's that one. There's the Stargate one. And then there's one image that appears to be from each of the Empire videos from 2020, but not quite. Like they're different locations from those videos, but they're slightly off in like camera angle for each of them. And those are the 6 images. And it looks like there's drifters attacking each.
Can I have 2 minutes? And then I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay, be right
I don't
back.
have anywhere else to go, so I'm just going to warp us to Farm Planet. Wait,
Okay.
no, that's not good.
Thank-
We're going to warp us to the next Deathless site, and we'll sit outside until you get back.
Okay, thanks.
Warp drive active.
Is there anything else that you guys want me to show off while we have stream today? Otherwise, I might wrap things up sooner rather than later. Son is home. I'm going to be participating in the fleet or whatever, but people are interested in me continuing. If we can. I'm just trying to check in with everybody. Not go in. If you accidentally activate gate, control space to cancel. Yep, Meaves. What's the lore behind these guys and why do we care? So, what's the happening? Hey, Nick, we're just doing the different deathless, or sorry, the different Drifter Crisis sites. We've been doing the deathless site. We did the previous ones already. The lore behind these, the short of it is, and I have a great video on talking in stations called "Who Are the Drifters?" But the short of it is, you know, Jovians, ancient civilization. A portion of their ancient civilization made themselves a Matrix-like construct, like Matrix is in the movie The Matrix, and a whole bunch of them abandoned the real world to enter into the Matrix. They also had a bit of a falling out with the rest of the Jovian community and left the Jovian race, traveled to what is now known as a Noikis or wormhole space, and set up their colonies there and went to sleep. Those are called the Sleepers. Within this construct, there's a rule that says that in order to have a physical existence, or in order to have a digital existence inside of the construct, you must have a physical existence outside of the construct. It's called the one body, one mind law. And therefore, they maintain these clones that allows them to run or to keep alive so that way they can stay in suspended animation in this construct. However, a violation of this rule eventually emerged from the construct. There, in the long running of the code, this intelligence appeared within the construct that never existed prior, that has no real body, that has no real existence. And these flaws began to multiply until eventually they took over the construct. So put it into more modern kind of ideas, Agent Smith has taken over the Matrix and is now using their tools to capture the bodies of the people that live in the Matrix and hijacking those bodies to attempt to escape the Matrix into the real world to apparently torture us, because that's what they're doing. I think that part of it is that they're trying to better understand humanity, but the way that they're understanding us is by literally torturing us and recording the experiences, and we would like them to stop because they're evil.
Okay, I'm back.
All right. Go ahead and cap chain up to show that you're ready to go. Good. And then finally, Thrans, you ready? Activate gate.
Warp drive active.
It would be really funny if we had been sitting outside of this one this entire time and there was a group inside and I just never checked. Then we go inside and there's like a bunch of people just like, oh, whoopsie.
Got a D-scan.
Yeah, never.
We're lucky.
1, 2, 3. 1, then 2. Yeah, I did make a long, like a fairly polished video called "Who Are the Drifters?" and it's on Talking Stations YouTube channel still. I do want to make one of the things I'm going to be making in the next week, I think, is like a lore speed run part 2. A couple years ago, I did a lore speed run where in like an hour and a half or so, I went over all of the events that have been leading up to this point. But that ended at Othanoon. Yep. Which, by the way, Nick Bison is from Talking Stations too. I'm pretty sure you're still over there, right? Good dude. But I want to make a speedrun part 2 that covers everything after the Othanoon events. So the last 2-3 years now. Othanoon was the lead up to Uprising, so that's 2 years, I think. Awesome. I miss doing stuff over there. Free fire? Why? Are there? Oh, so this can happen every once in a while. If we notice, all of the obliviating rats are asleep. They're not doing anything right now. This can happen every once in a while. So the tower is actually at full health. This is going to be a really easy sight, guys. Wave. One, two, three, A. They all gonna sleep. Up. Yeah, these things. This can theoretically happen sometimes. It also happens a lot in. I've never actually seen it happen in the Abyss. I've definitely seen it happen in Pochven. If you want to stay connected and do more of these in the future, we have a Discord. Convocation of Empyreans are here to maximize player engagement with EVE Online. We are recruiting, but you're also free to just kind of hang out and take part. Also, if you go to Arataka Research Consortium's Discord, which I don't have on me right now, but if you ask around, or if you go to the Consortium Operation in-game channel, you should be able to find that. Consortium Operations is where a lot of, or sorry, the Arataka Research Consortium is where a lot of this kind of stuff is coordinated. A, then Free Fire. Free Fire. Not that it really mattered. We're going to just pretend like it matters. We can see, already making some pretty decent ISK. Done 1, 2, 3, 4 sites so far, so 80 million. I think that's not even including the salvage site or the other one. That's why I like these sites. Is that like pretty easy. You get with your friends, you hang out with your friends for a couple of hours. Made back the ISK to purchase the AUG. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's pretty easy to quickly make enough ISK to compensate for the ships. And then it's just, hey, let's hang out for a couple hours. And the nice thing, so the thing is this. It's not like you can obviously make more money doing some other things like, high tier abyssals or, even higher, like some high tier ratting or whatever. That's fine. But the point here is the reward needs to be sufficient. The reward needs to be sufficient so that way people feel like they're not being cheated by hanging out with their friends, right? Like it needs to be enough so that you don't feel like you're giving up something to hang out with your friends. I get to hang out with my friends and we make a reasonable amount of ISK. You forget about the time. We've been doing this now for over an hour and a half. That's the big secret, right? I've said this many, many times. The best ISK isn't the thing that's the best ISK per hour. It's the thing that you can do for the most amount of hours without like driving yourself insane. And so hang out with your buddies for a couple of hours and just knocking these things out as you go and just hanging out and doing stuff. Great way to make some money. And why aren't they leaving? Okay, they are leaving.
They are.
When did they go to? Catch that. They went to the one 47 AU away. Now they're going to be like, how did they make it so their dudes are not firing at the tower at all? They must be cheating somehow. What's the secret?
Who knows? Watch the stream.
Hacks. Yeah, streamer hacks. Clearly, I've got CCP in my pocket, and they're turning off the rats for me. Because these sites are so challenging otherwise.
Yeah, they're too difficult to do with 5.
I do miss tremendously the old invasion site. Secret is the drifters are too busy watching the stream too. There you go.
Yep.
Hey, Tyrannos. Like the stream. Oscar in the tower. I like it. Ooh, that's a lot of destroyers. I think it doesn't matter. Weirdly enough, it also hasn't generated any hyperspace telemetry. This is weird. This is a strange bug, but it looks like it hasn't actually started working towards any hyperspace telemetry. I'm assuming because nothing's shot at it before. I'm going to try shooting at it. Does that do anything?
Nothing much.
Didn't seem to do anything. Weird.
Oh, we get damage on the tower. A little.
It's not showing. It's not showing. Not only is it is ticking down the time for the site, but it's not actually accruing any hyperspace telemetry. That's strange.
Like they ripped out of their clone being put in a ship and warped to this place and don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's like the site didn't finish turning on.
Yeah. I'm still sleeping. What I have to do? Oh no.
Our crew is also watching the stream, probably. What's her name? Yeah, what's her? Deathless girl.
I forgot a long time.
I know. I can't remember now.
There's so many people in play that you forget the names and faces.
Whoa! Wait, hold on. Oh! Did they modify the Yosef Akata's journal entries? Hold on.
Wow.
They did. Wait. Wait. Am I crazy?
Maybe.
Allowing your ship to... Do I need to right-click and show info on it? Is it a right-click show info thing? Or is it a... I can't... Actually, I have to have them in order to look at them thing? Alright. Either way. It went to that one, so we'll go to this one.
Drive active.
Can't remember now if Yosef Akata requires... Or journal entries require... It used to require you to right-click show info, or if they changed the text on it. Oh yeah, no, it was. It is a show info thing. That's why, or it's a special thing. All right, activate gate.
Warp drive active.
one side and the influence goes only 1% up.
I think, well, it takes more than one site to make it go. It doesn't go up 1% every time you finish a site.
Ah, too bad. Damn.
That'd be only 100 sites to finish the whole thing. That'd be bad. 1, 2, 3, A, B. 1, then 2. Name starts with S. Soldrun. Soldrun's her name. See, like, you see these 3 soothing chittens? We're not killing anything in this that isn't obliviating right now. Like, it's just not going to happen, even if we wanted to.
Yeah, you just got one.
There's 3 soothing chittens. Bravo, then free fire. Fire. Targets. One, two, three, A. Finish off yours and then 1. 1, then 2. Three. Three, then A. A, then free fire. I wish you could like use a bounding box on the actual overview to be like lock up guys instead of having to control click on each individual one, because you can bounding box them in space. Not while on the over.
Don't make it too easy.
did find it interesting that the other group was using ospreys because we were wanting to try out an osprey bellicose combo. These are replaced by bellicoses. We think we could get more DPS and better application.
Yeah, it's a cruiser. Why not? You can
Smite
try.
me, almighty smiter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Kiki's good. Don't get me wrong, but the cruiser with a pair of target painters.
Yeah, the Kiki. Yeah, that might work.
Well, they've got almost double the on paper DPS.
You just need to try it. If you don't try it, you don't know it.
Yeah.
But you have to get the time too.
Yeah, I mean, like when you already have the augers and Kiki Moors ready to, like, oh, you want to try a new thing, or should we? Already been proven to work, you know.
Yeah, then you just roll with what you got.
I do have it ready to go if we wanted to swap into it. Prepare people are swap into ospreys, augers. Looks like the salvage site is the only site that isn't really being run right now. Yeah. And that was kind of the concern. This is like everybody's kind of already to do this setup. Brand said he's maxed out on shield Podgy. That makes, yeah. One of the other reasons why we haven't gotten around to it yet.
This is just the easiest way to do it.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, like, as far as the easiest way to do it, the easiest way to do it is to show up and be like, "Hey, Dutch, hand me ships," and then give in ships, and then go and do it. That's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, just let somebody else do the work.
Exactly. Exactly.
That always works. And if it's not working, you can
Finish
complain to the one.
Finish off your the one you're on, then one, then two. Yeah. That said, we are crossing the 2-hour mark. So I think at the very least I'm going to, and we're also running low on deathless sites somehow, which is bizarre, but we do know that there's some. So I'm going to get us to at least like stock up, take 5, evaluate, but I'll probably be wrapping up the stream now. Nobody's like, no, keep going. That's fine. We definitely got our objective of showing off all 3 of the elite sites done today.
Yep, and it is and still fun. So yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys for come out. Like I said, we don't have to necessarily be done.
And also go do something reckless or something.
Well, my son is home. Like, I had to bring him home. Car sick. I'm not on. Hopefully it'll be fine.
Yeah, there's
Tomorrow,
medication for it. So if you go to a doctor, if you get sick in a car,
yeah, that's fair.
that's not fun.
Yeah, that's true. Tomorrow the goal is to go over turrets. Maybe work on the lore stuff. I'm not 100% sure on that. I do hope to stream tomorrow. All right. Take warp to Dodixie.
Warp drive active.
The other thing is I want people to show off to people that how to do the thing. Hey, thanks, Brody. I want to show people how to do the sites and how easy it is to do the sites. But at the same time, I don't necessarily want to pressure a bunch of people beyond stream or whatever. So we want to make it as people as possible. I do appreciate everybody for giving me a chance to stream the fleet, but we also want to be able to provide the most open fleet. What is this show about? We were doing the Drifter crisis sites. To do it, we can't do Redivas though. They don't let us use Redivas. Trust me, if we could use Redivas, we would be in Redivas.
Warp drive active.
Awesome. That's what I love about Eve. That like you guys are, you're not watching me play some isolated game from the rest of you. Any of you guys could come and interact. I do appreciate nobody coming and intentionally ruining our stream today. That is a big concern, obviously. But y'all behaved. That's good. I appreciate it. We can do more like this. Ken.
Yeah, why not?
But thank you guys so much for checking this out. Like I said, I should be able to stream tomorrow, but we'll see. Either way, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the channel, or like the video if you liked it, and leave a comment for what other things in Eve would you like me to show off or talk about. I need to do another lore page, so I'm thinking about what content I want to do maybe next week or whatever. So I'm looking for some ideas. I'm glad that you're having a good time, DK. Glad that you got involved, and we'll keep it going. Okay, well, we just showed the 3 different videos. There's a fleet going on under Dutch Gunner right now. You can hop in the Discord and come and hang out with us, and we'll get you involved. But in the meantime, I'm going to be wrapping up the stream for now. So I've been Ashrathi. I've been playing this game since 3. Never mind. I'm not sending the stream, apparently. I'm going to just fall over my own words. Your certain system in a 4.1 billion Bargus, they will come. Yeah, I mean, it's a good way to get people there. I've been Ashrathi. I've been playing this game since 2010, talking about since 2012, and I'm here to put Eve into context for you, my fellow Empyreans. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you for my fleet for coming and participating. Thank you for all the watchers for watching. Thank you to my son who's about to come in here for not disrupting the stream for the entire time and wearing a green... Oh, while wearing a green shirt. That's awesome. Well done. Well done. I have a head for a child. Today you get a head, you get a child head test. That's the, instead of no cat tax today apparently. Yep. All right, so I'm going to go deal with that, and then we'll be continuing with the fleet. So you guys are welcome to join us. But I've been Ashrathi, the voice of New Eden. Buy merch, and until next time, I will see you in space. Okay.
Bring on the wrecking machine. city